Okay, I didn't think I made this. I didn't think I made a video, this fight prediction, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, so Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Actually, I did make a fight prediction video. I just didn't upload it on YouTube. But I'm gonna add Tyson Fury into the mix. So let's say a three-way dance, triple threat. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua. Who wins? If you know one stands by, and then the other, and then who up? You know what I'm on about. So, okay, let's start off with the fight between Wilder and Fury. This is going to be really interesting because I think a lot of people feel that Fury could beat Wilder and Joshua. But then people need to understand that Fury been out for a long time and the game has changed a little bit. But then Fury's last fight wasn't the biggest or impressive victory going, and I saw it and I was a bit, wasn't impressed. But at the same time, Fury's back. Now that leaves a lot of things into consideration in regards to who could win between Wilder and Fury. I think, okay, my money's on Wilder. I think Wilder is gonna catch Fury because Fury's a big target. He's not a small target like Bellew. Even though I think Bellew gets smoked by Wilder anyway, but I think Fury being a big target, Wilder doesn't have much to worry. The thing is with Wilder, to beat someone like Wilder, you need movement and you need head movement. You need to get on the inside and fight dirty. Because of Wilder's reach, you can't afford yourself to be at a certain reach so Wilder can hit you at full capacity. You need to do dirty boxing. You need to do what Luis Ortiz was doing. He done well, but the problem with Luis Ortiz was I think he didn't keep his strategy in place. But then don't get me wrong, he still clipped Wilder. But it's that dirty boxing of getting on the inside and really roughing somebody up. Like the sparring video between Hay and Wilder, even though Wilder's a different fighter as he is now, that was a big indication of, you need to get on the inside. You need to make Wilder respect you. With Fury, I don't. I see Fury. I see him going around. I see him kind of going around, scoping the scene. I don't see him coming right at Wilder because I think Wilder will come with like an uppercut or something, or Wilder will fuck. Wilder's the sort of type that will say, "Yeah, you're gonna come at me head on. I'm coming head on at you." And we'll see who wins this. I think Wilder wins it, but I think Fury puts up a good fight. I think Fury, after the loss, I think if he does get beaten by Wilder, he goes back to the drawing board and he renovates himself and comes back. I have a feeling he comes back and then he fights top guys to get back up there. Because Wilder's no joke, and the thing is with Wilder, he has an awkward style, but so does Fury. But then Fury's style, he's not as fast as Wilder, but there's a thing that Fury does have that Wilder doesn't have is boxing intelligence. Now, I'm not insulting Wilder saying he's stupid, no. But what I'm saying is Fury is that sort of, he's got that weird boxing mentality where he knows the little tricks here and there. He knows certain things to do in certain scenarios. But then I still think Wilder wins. I just think Wilder is a different sort of animal, a different kind of guy. Yes, there's going to be a lot of trash talking between them two, but I think Wilder takes it in the long run. Round wise, I'd say it has to be a later round. It has to be, I'd say round 8. I'd say round 8 or round 7, Wilder stops Fury, but then it won't be easy for Wilder. I'm not saying that Fury is just going to get walked over now. I think he's gonna bob around, taunt, throw a couple of feints to get Wilder a bit like, okay, let's see okay, we'll see. And then Wilder's going to come out with his stuff, and then it's going to be, okay, who reacts bad to whatever next person throws. But I think because of Wilder's power, Fury's going to know, okay, shit. But then Fury at the same time could probably get a fight with AJ. Now, here, this one, I think Fury beats AJ, as weird as that sounds, like to some people. Because if Fury takes on AJ, Anthony Joshua, yeah, his style is jab, back you up, comes in with hooks, uppercut, jab, back you up, come in with hooks, uppercut. But the thing is with Fury will trash talk the shit out of AJ, trash talk the shit out of Eddie Hearn, and embarrass them in press conferences, left, right, and center. With Wilder, you can't really embarrass Wilder, you know, because Wilder's a showman himself. AJ's not a showman. AJ doesn't use enough head movement. Fury does. Fury is very awkward. AJ is very sort of like, I'm not saying basic, but AJ is technical. But to beat some fighters, sometimes when you look at the greats and you look at the people who they took on people that was very awkward to them. You know, I think Fury's gonna do a lot of being very awkward around AJ, trying to confuse AJ, trying to get in AJ's head, do a bit of dirty boxing with AJ. You know, grab him, get on the inside, whisper things to him, uppercuts here and there, put a slight pressure on him, tire AJ out. You know, let AJ be in a dogfight. Like AJ was in a good fight with Klitschko, but Fury beat him. But then Fury will approach an AJ fight very differently to a lot of people how they think Fury will go. Because Fury, you have to understand between this. You can go out there and get someone who looks like Anthony Joshua. You go to majority of the muscle gyms, put some boxing gloves on them of someone who might have a pretty good boxing experience. There's not that many Wilders out there that you can look on the street and point and be like, oh, they look like Deontay Wilder. Do you mind? Can you spar or whatever? There's not that many athletes that look like Deontay Wilder with a boxing pedigree. Yes, Fury could go to the NBA and say, yo, Shaquille O'Neal, can I borrow you for for some or Duncan, can I borrow you for a couple of sparring sessions? Or LeBron James, you know, come on now, you know, let's be serious for a minute. You can go out there and find an Anthony Joshua and mimic Anthony Joshua in some way. I know it's an insult to Anthony Joshua, but it is what it is. There's many muscle-bound boxers like him. There's not that many people that look like Wilder and fight like Wilder as well. Yes, people like to make the helicopter joke all they want, but Wilder may do that to win, and he wins effectively. AJ does the technical basis. You can mimic that, but then at the same time, Fury, being as smart as he is, will know, okay, the ins and outs and what to do. But with Wilder now, Fury will have to take upon that fight very differently. He will have to analyze how Wilder's moving very differently. Or what's Wilder going to throw next? I'm going to get a helicopter punch, or am I going to get a straight right down the middle? You know, that's something that what Fury needs to take upon board in his head. But with AJ, Fury, and I think Fury would kind of look upon this in a way of okay, I've kind of seen it before, you know, what AJ does and stuff, kind of the same. I know the openings and stuff like that, and Fury's that sort of guy. I'm not saying like I know Fury personally, but I can kind of just the way he talks and the way he explains himself and stuff like that. So, you know, I think Fury beats AJ, but I think Fury loses to Wilder. Now, Wilder and AJ, I'm going to basically kind of say it like this. Both men start off. Wilder does this, measures AJ. AJ, as he comes in, Wilder being very awkward, wham, just clips AJ and reminds AJ, yeah, bitch, I'm a WBC champion for a reason. Then AJ has to reanalysis, okay, how do I approach Wilder next? Then AJ is going to have to change his form of strategy. You know, AJ, being as technical as he is, will have to change his form of strategy in a way, because you can come in and smother Wilder, but then you have to understand Wilder in his head is going to be thinking, okay, yeah, I knew you was going to do this. You're not as... The problem with AJ, he's not as awkward as Fury or Wilder, you know, to kind of make the next boxer think, you know. It's like when Mayweather took on Augustus. Mayweather says in interviews that Augustus was the greatest challenger he's ever had. Why? Because he was very different. He'd done this drunken shit, you know, and it puts people off. If you've been in boxing training or you've been in MMA training or any form of combat, when someone comes at you very awkwardly, you can't. There's certain, and you can't analyze a person's angles. You can't analyze, okay, what's he gonna throw? He's doing all this weird shit. You have to just anticipate what this person's gonna throw and maybe counter it or maybe beat him to the punch. But if you have someone who has a conventional style of boxing where his hands are up, normal, okay, he's technical, but then at the same time, I kind of know what he's going to do. It's the same with AJ, and I think Wilder will exploit that. Because AJ doesn't use a lot of head movement, I mean, if he had head movement like Tyson, then or Ali, then Wilder's finished. But I think Wilder will hit AJ, and AJ's chin is very suspect. You know, is a suspected chin, and I think Anthony Joshua falls. But then when Anthony Joshua falls now, the rematch between Wilder and Joshua would be even more bigger. But then I think Joshua probably beats Wilder in the rematch, because Wilder in the rematch would be expecting to do the same thing again and then again. AJ, in my opinion, because of how technical he is, he'll go back to the drawing board and completely come with a different style altogether. He'll change up a little bit. You know, I think he'll change up, and then I think he'll stop Wilder in a rematch, and then the third one will be down to Wilder, whether Wilder wants to change his style or not, whether he wants to approach a third fight very differently. But this whole boxing stuff between contracts and stuff hurts the business, hurts the sport as a whole, because everyone's all bickering and arguing and shit, you know. But I think Wilder wins it all, mate. Personally, because Wilder is an exceptional athlete. You know, Wilder. See, with Dylan, even with Dylan White. So let's add Dylan White into the mix now. I think Dylan White is the dark horse out of the trio in a way. I think Dylan White should be. I mean, if I was a promoter and I promoted all the fucking commissions, yeah, I'd say okay. Because of Dylan White's performance against Parker, and Parker being a former WBA, I think it's WBA, yeah, I think it's WBA heavyweight champion. White deserves a title shot with AJ or with Wilder. Okay, I understand Povetkin could fuck up the whole thing for AJ completely if he beats him. You know, because in that way Wilder's like, well, you know, Povetkin, come get it. You know what I mean? But I think Dylan White should take on Wilder, to be fair. I think, see, if it was up to me, okay, Dylan White should take on Wilder for the WBC title. Look, Dylan White is proved himself now. Tony Bellew should either take on the cruiserweight champion. I don't know his name. The cruiserweight champion, or take on Fury, because them two was arguing amongst themselves anyway. So I think Fury should take on Bellew. And Bellew, yes, he fights in heavyweight, but give Bellew some fucking credit. He deserves to be given a decent fight or whatever, right? So then if White takes on Wilder, White loses or wins or whatever, then the AJ fight the rematch is going to be a lot more bigger. Yeah, if AJ beats Povetkin, and then you got Fury now or Bellew in the mix, it's a lot more interesting for boxing, you know. Or even if you got Derek Chisora, like have Derek Chisora take on Tyson Fury if Tony Bellew don't want to do it. Either way, in the heavyweight division, you have exciting matchups you can go. Might as well play with it. You know what I mean? Instead of just having this whole contract dispute. Like, I don't know who's talking shit between Eddie Hearn and Wilder's people. It's fucking annoying. And these Instagram accounts, when you put up photos of AJ and Wilder and you say, who do you think would win? That drives me fucking nuts. I want to know the recent news. I don't want to know about who's gonna win, man. We've been asked this question dozens of fucking times, man. Give us the latest news. What's going on now between the Eddie Hearn and contract disputes with Wilder's people? I don't know who's lying and who's talking shit. Like, in my opinion, I believe Wilder's side. The reason why I believe Wilder's side is because I feel that Eddie Hearn knows that there is an exceptional fucking risk to AJ if he takes on Wilder. Like, I do think Hearn believes in AJ. I do think he does, but I think there's that massive doubt whether he can take out Wilder, because when you see Wilder take out someone like Stavern, and Stavern is not like, oh my gosh, like the best of the best. But when you see a performance like that, and then you see a performance like he did against Luis Ortiz, and then you think, shit, this guy's got heart, but at the same time, he's got power now. AJ being dropped and being rocked by such punches that doesn't hit as hard as Wilder does. It could fuck up a lot of things. I mean, I didn't like when I heard about the contract dispute between, what do you call it? Apparently the rematch clause. Now, that was bullshit. Yeah. I heard something along the lines of, how are you going to give Anthony Joshua the rematch if Wilder beats him, but then if AJ beats Wilder, you don't give Wilder the rematch. That's bullshit. You might as well have on the contract, listen, rematch for rematch or no rematch at all on either side. If Wilder beats AJ get the back of the fucking line, bruv. Let I don't know, Povetkin or let Chisora or let Bellew or let somebody else get a shot at Wilder if he takes all the belts. Do you know what I mean? But this whole one rematch for us and none for you, that's bullshit. That's now okay. There should be exceptions to that rematch clause. Eddie Hearn should add in the contract. Okay, if AJ smokes you Wilder in 1 or 2 rounds, no rematch for you, and the same should be on the other side. Yeah, the same should be on the side. If Wilder beats AJ, let's say in under 5 rounds, yeah, you don't get a rematch, AJ. If AJ does it to Wilder, you don't get a rematch. Like I saw this thing with Luis Ortiz wanted a rematch against Wilder. Nah, bro. Like, because you lost. Like, you got beat. Like, you got knocked out, pretty much. If it wasn't by judges, you know, if it was by judges, then, okay, it was debatable. But, nah, man. So that's my predictions for it and a little bit more added on. So, you know, I'm going to start doing more of these fight little prediction videos. I think it's interesting. Fuck it. Might as well add more shit to the YouTube, you know, as time goes on. More content. Take it easy, everybody. Boxing fans, fight fans. Click like, subscribe if you want to. And we'll see what happens with this whole boxing stuff, man. Listen, I've got my notifications up. I got them ready, mate. And if Wilder takes on AJ and it's in the UK, that's another thing as well. Like, fuck it, Wilder should just take the fight in the UK. Rematch the fucking thing in the US. You make more money, mate. Or fuck it, do it in Mexico if you have to. Or do it in the next country. Do you know what I mean? Whatever, man. But yeah, peace out, everybody. Enjoy your enjoy the boxing universe, man, because boxing is exciting now, bruv. Peace out.